Thank you for joining us today, Franklin. As Mr. Bedford's only surviving son, it can't be easy for you to testify against him, especially in the murder of your brother.
That's how strongly I believe he's guilty.
Your brother Harrison, what were his plans around the time of the murder?
He was going to go to college, get into the firm, become the next CEO probably. That's what my dad wanted for him.
And did the plans change when he found out Allison was pregnant?
Yeah, he told me he wanted to drop out and live with her. He said this was the perfect time to escape Bedford Castle, as he called it.
Objection, Your Honor. This is hearsay. Regrettably, we can't cross-examine the victim to establish the veracity of the statement.
Sustained. Miss Carmichael, try and find another tack with this witness.
Franklin, did Allison Conway tell you anything about the situation?
Yeah, actually. We were pretty close. Back then, anyway. She said she and Harrison were planning on getting a place. He was going to go to City College, and she was going to finish up high school and look after the baby.
And as for Giles Bedford?
She told me she was afraid of what he would do when he found out.
How would you describe your relationship with your father?
Strained, Miss Carmichael. I found myself pointing a gun at his head not too awfully long ago.
Why?
Because I believe he killed my brother Harrison, and I believe that his position of privilege and wealth has kept him from justice.
Your Honor, how is this relevant to the murder of Harrison Bedford?
It's not. Rein it in, Counselor.
Franklin, why don't you tell us what kinds of behavior your father displayed back in those days?
Well, he was stressed out about the firm, and then about Harrison's future. He would get real dark at dinner, then go pop a Banaxoline and chase it with gin.
Objection! This witness is not the defendant's doctor. How could he possibly know what medication his father was on?
Franklin, can you tell the court how you knew your father was taking Banaxoline?
Little orange pills with the word Banaxoline on them? Dead giveaway, Miss Carmichael. Anyway, sometimes it helped, sometimes it just made him crazier. Dad's an addict, whether he wants to admit it or not.
Banaxoline, a drug with known side effects that include bouts of uncontrollable rage and even, in the most extreme cases, murder. People submit a case study of Banaxoline and its links to aggression and violence. Now, while under the influence of this unpredictable medication and finding out Allison was pregnant, he would have gone ballistic, right?
Objection! Calls for speculation.
It's his own father. Are you saying Franklin can't imagine how his own father would have reacted?
Speculation is speculation, Counselor. Leave it alone.
Withdrawn. Franklin, please tell the court what Giles Bedford, your father, thought of Allison Conway when he first met her.
He didn't like her. At dinner later, he said to me, "She's a gold-digging tramp."
Why would he think that?
Dad didn't feel Allison came from the right background.
So, safe to say, at the time of the shooting, there was no love lost between Giles Bedford and Allison Conway.
Yeah, that's right.
Franklin, from everything you witnessed about your father's mood and behavior, do you believe he's capable of killing his own son?
Yes, Miss Carmichael, I do. He's a tyrant. A man obsessed with wealth and his family status. And I believe he's mentally unstable. So yes, I think he killed my brother.
Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Bedford, may I call you Franklin?
Yeah, Mr. Bedford is my father.
This is quite an accusation you've leveled, against your own father even. Tell us, do you have any proof?
Do I need proof, man? Isn't that what this whole trial is for? No, I don't have proof. But the people of New York do.
So you don't have proof?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
You testified a lot about your father's state of mind, but you also said that you don't have a very close relationship with him.
Wait a minute, I said it wasn't good. I never said it wasn't close. Too close for comfort, if you ask me.
Noted. When was the last time you spoke to your father?
Well, we met. It was right when he had his heart attack. I was the one who took him to the hospital.
Oh, so if you thought he was guilty, why not let him die right there? You were eager enough to kill him later.
I guess I felt guilty.
You did? Why?
I might very well have caused it, the heart attack. We argued. See, I accused him and it was intense.
What kind of son are you anyway? Scruffy-looking hippie attacking your father in his old age like that?
Objection. Your Honor, this is off-the-charts badgering right here.
Agreed. Mr. Vance, keep it civil.
Sorry, Your Honor. There's just nothing worse than an ungrateful son.
Objection. Your Honor, seriously?
Try that one more time, and I will bounce you out of this courtroom, Mr. Vance.
Apologies. Let's talk about the past now. Let's go back to the time of the murder. You say your father was angry with your brother, and so he killed him. Interesting theory, but who else was angry with Harrison?
I don't follow you.
Didn't you have a crush on Allison Conway? Weren't you jealous of your brother?
Yes, but no, you're twisting it.
You loved Allison Conway, and you killed your own brother in a jealous rage.
Objection. Where's the question here?
Sustained.
Tell us, Franklin, weren't you jealous enough of your brother to kill him?
Objection. Withdrawn.
I did not kill my brother. I loved him. I idolized him. I wanted Allison, sure, but I would never have hurt Harrison to have her.
So you had a problem with Harrison's relationship, but not enough to resort to murder.
Yes, that's right.
Seems reasonable, and I imagine your father would probably say the exact same thing. No further questions.
Mr. Trevino, you are here to tell the court about your association with the late Mr. Frank Vincenzo and to testify to what he told you before he died.
That's right.
Mr. Vincenzo knew he was dying when he took you into his confidence, correct?
Yeah, he got diagnosed with terminal cancer. Only had a few months left. Guess he needed to get some stuff off his chest.
Can you tell the court what you knew about Frank Vincenzo Jr.?
Well, he was a guy from the building, an older guy. My dad warned me never to cross him. I got the idea he was connected. So when we started talking, he told me what he did.
And what was that?
He was a hitman, Mr. Cutter.
And his weapon of choice?
Shotgun.
You sure?
No, you're right, Mr. Cutter. It was a 9mm.
He gave you one of those weapons, didn't he?
That's correct.
And the weapon he gave you to help your father shoot Alexander Baran was the same weapon used to shoot Harrison Bedford in 1998. Did Mr. Vincenzo describe the crime to you?
Yeah, he told me how it happened. He tracked the kids through the park.
And what year was this?
1998.
The year of the Central Park murder. And what time of day?
It was a weekend. Lunchtime, I think.
Really?
No, hang on. I remember now. It was late afternoon, around dark. Yeah.
Did Mr. Vincenzo describe any specifics of the crime? Anything to help authenticate his testimony?
Well, he shot the boy first, 2 times. The first hit him in the stomach, and then the second round went right through his heart. He said he made the girl lie down, face down, and then he shot her in the head, sort of from the side. He was real surprised she survived.
Allison Conway shot in the head while lying prone on the ground. Crime scene analysts confirmed this, and, most important, it was a detail the police kept out of the press. Only a witness could have known. Now, Mr. Trevino, the $64,000 question. Who hired Frank Vincenzo Jr. to kill Harrison Bedford?
Actually, you got your facts wrong, Mr. Cutter.
What?
Frankie told me he got hired to kill the girl, not the boyfriend.
So what happened?
The guy attacked Frankie, there was a fight, and both kids ended up shot.
And who hired him?
He told me it was Giles Bedford.
No, it's not true.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
Yeah, like I said, it went all wrong.
Mr. Trevino, let's start with something easy. Please state your current address.
My address? You kidding me?
Go on.
I'm at Altona Correctional Facility.
So, you're in jail.
Yes.
Convicted of a felony?
Yes.
Objection! Defense is improperly introducing the witness's criminal history to impeach his credibility.
Under FRE 609A, it's allowed, Your Honor.
He's got you there, Mr. Cutter. Please, continue.
Did you take a deal in exchange for your testimony?
Yes.
I imagine the deal got sweeter the more you had to say about my client.
I told the truth. I just happen to know the juicy details.
Isn't it true that in almost any other trial, this testimony would be considered hearsay and therefore completely inadmissible?
Objection! Mr. Trevino is not a lawyer. He isn't expected to know that, nor is it relevant.
I agree. Move on, Mr. Vance. Sustained.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me categorize Mr. Trevino's testimony for you. It is a story told by a convicted felon in exchange for reduced punishment. Even if it's true, these are the words of a dying assassin, a man with no morals whatsoever. Why would any reasonable person ever rate this against the innocence of a man who has been a pillar of New York society for his entire life?
Objection! Your Honor, Mr. Vance is arguing his case, not questioning the witness.
Sustained. Cut it out, counselor.
I have no further questions for this witness.
The people rest their case, Your Honor.
Very well. And Mr. Vance?
Motion to dismiss the charges against my client. The people have failed to adequately meet the burden of proof. The state must prove the critical facts of the case to the appropriate level of certainty. They have not done so.
I don't know. I heard some pretty good juice, Mr. Vance. I'm denying your motion. Call your witnesses.
We call Allison Conway to the stand. Miss Conway, can you describe your relationship with the defendant?
Yes, Giles, Mr. Bedford is the grandfather to my child. His son Harrison and I were involved in high school. And now, of course, he is the CEO of the corporation I work for.
How many years have you known him?
Since 1998.
In that time, have you ever seen him act violent or unpredictable? Miss Conway?
No, I never have.
Many people have said Mr. Bedford disapproved of your relationship, thought you were from the wrong side of the tracks. But this is rumor that's been blown out of proportion, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
Sustained.
Can you describe how Mr. Bedford acted towards you and the baby after the murder?
He was nice. The whole family welcomed me and my son. He paid for my medical bills, and schooling. He paid for everything. He got me this job, told me I should work for him.
Miss Conway, is something wrong?
No, I'm fine.
So you think Mr. Bedford felt kindly toward you, maybe even like the daughter he never had?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Overruled.
And in your opinion, did Mr. Bedford treat you like someone he was ashamed of or did not like?
No. No, quite the opposite. More like he owed me something.
No further questions. Thank you, Miss Conway.
Miss Carmichael, your witness.
Miss Conway has given multiple depositions regarding the facts of this case, and we have no further need to question her.
Dr. Markovich, how long have you been treating Giles Bedford?
I've been the family doctor for over 13 years.
And in that time, did you treat him with Banaxylene?
Yes, I did. Mr. Bedford works in a very high-stress financial situation, and he wanted medication that would help him relax and be more effective.
Did you ever observe any side effects?
No, I did not, nor did he report any.
Have any of your patients or any patients you've heard of ever reported side effects while on Banaxylene? In the 13 years you have treated Mr. Bedford, have you ever seen him display aggressive or violent tendencies to anyone in his immediate family on medication or off it?
No, sir. No, I have not.
Good afternoon, Doctor. I just have a few questions for you today. A few things to clear up. Read this disclaimer, please. It's the drug warning for Banaxylene.
This drug may make you dizzy or drowsy or cause blurred vision. Avoid alcoholic beverages. Older adults may be more sensitive to the side effects of this drug, especially loss of coordination and drowsiness. Banaxylene may cause symptoms including mental mood changes, sleep disturbance, increase in aggression, feelings of paranoia, or hallucinations.
Increase in aggression. You know that when you were treating Mr. Bedford?
I never knew Banaxylene had any side effects until I was called to testify for this trial.
You told detectives that you knew Banaxylene had, quote, some nasty side effects.
I did? Well, if they say so.
How often did you check in on Giles Bedford?
Every 180 days.
So how can you say that you did or did not see any side effects? That's a half year of not seeing your patient. Anything could happen in that time. One final thing, Doctor. When detectives originally talked to you in Mr. Bedford's hospital room, you told them something very interesting.
I did?
Oh, yes. Do you remember what it was?
No.
I'll remind you. You told them when, exactly, Mr. Bedford discovered Allison Conway was pregnant. When you told him secretly.
Oh.
Remember when you said that was, relative to the date of the murder?
Sometime after.
No, you told Giles Bedford that Allison was pregnant before the murder. Before. He knew about the secret pregnancy because you told him. And he was angry. You said so yourself.
Yes, furious.
So furious, in fact, that he contacted Frank Vincenzo Jr. and arranged to have her shot dead. In cold blood.
Oh my God.
Objection, Your Honor.
Withdrawn. No further questions.
Allison? What are you doing here?
I want to talk.
As long as the trial is still underway, I'm afraid there's not much I can say to you.
Fine, so I'll do the talking. There's something I've tried very hard to push down, to forget. But it's coming back. Mr. Bedford always told me the baby was a surprise to him. He never, ever mentioned he knew about it beforehand. So when you said the name, it didn't click before.
What name?
Frank Vincenzo Jr. Can you show me a picture of him? Thank you.
Your Honor, the people call Allison Conway to the stand as a friendly witness.
Objection! What's going on here, Mike?
Both of you, approach.
Allison Conway recently had a breakthrough, and her memory is crucial to the people's case. We want to call her to testify.
I've had no warning of this.
She has additional evidence to present.
I'll move for a mistrial as soon as she leaves the stand.
And I will decide whether your motion has merit, Counselor, but not a moment before. Now, take a deep breath and listen to what your witness has to say. You introduced her. Now you get to take your lumps, Mr. Vance. Mr. Cutter, your witness.
Miss Conway, can you tell us why you're here today?
After I was shot, my memory was spotty, but over the years, I've been able to put some pieces back together.
And you recently remembered something about the shooting.
I haven't thought about that day in years. I've tried not to. My life was perfect in some ways. There was no reason to remember. But this trial, it's all coming back.
Tell us about what you remember on the day of the shooting.
It was a school day. I went to Harrison's house in the afternoon, like I usually did, but he wasn't there. Mr. Bedford said he sent him on an errand and he wouldn't be back soon. Mr. Bedford knew we had a track meet coming up, so he suggested I take a run in the park while I waited. He would have his driver take me over there. I felt uncomfortable in the house, so I said fine and got changed. As I was about to leave, Harrison came back early. He asked where I was going, and when I told him, he said he wanted to come with me. He was scared about the pregnancy, but protective too. Proud even. So it was just the two of us out for a run. Harrison didn't even bother changing. I remember he had this funny Argyle sweater on. Anyway, we got in the car and Harrison noticed right away. The driver, he was new. Harrison asked him his name and he told us. I remember it because it was a funny coincidence. He had the same name as Harrison's brother, Frank. When Detective Curtis showed me the picture of Frank Vincenzo Jr., I knew what you had done. It wasn't enough you wanted the tramp from the wrong side of the tracks out of your son's life. You wanted me dead, and your unborn grandchild.
No.
Frank wasn't a driver. He was a hitman, hired to kill me. And he followed us into the park. But then Harrison fought back, protected me. And he ended up paying the ultimate price for your anger. When you realized what you had done, to assuage your dirty, rotten conscience, you took me in, paid my bills, bought my love and loyalty. You bastard!
Miss Conway.
Well, the truth is out, Giles. And now the whole world will know what you are. What you always were. Murderer.
Thank you, Allison. No further questions.
How long has the jury been out?
6 hours.
What do you think they'll come back with?
Lots of circumstantial evidence. Defense knocked us around pretty good.
Jury likes us.
Sure. But remember, all it takes is one.
One person to undo a decade of police work.
Lenny would be proud, Ray. I hope you know that.
Thanks, LT. Showtime.
Have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
And how do you find?
On the count of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant, Giles Bedford, guilty.
And on the count of attempted murder?
Guilty.
We thank you for your service. Defendant is remanded into custody until sentencing.
Well, Vance has already filed his appeal.
Of course. We saw that coming a mile away.
Doesn't matter. You won today, and that's what's important.
And tomorrow, do it all over again.
That's how it worked when I was ADA. But tonight, we celebrate. Dinner's on me.
Hey, Lenny. How you doing? Look, I came out here. I just wanted to tell you. We got him. After all these years, we got him. It was nice having one last chance to work with you on a case. Funny. It really doesn't seem like that long ago. But you blink your eyes and everything's different. People disappear, faces change. But, well, at least the city is still the same. Anyways, thanks. Couldn't have done it without you, old man.